Your local Mississippi Ford dealers. Log on to buyfordnow.com and find out why the best-selling trucks are built Ford tough. You can test drive one at your local Mississippi Ford dealer today. All guests on the show appear on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau. To my left is John Darnell, and to his left is Bo Russell. And two guys that have known each other for a long time, played against each other in high school, and then both from Northeast Mississippi made their way on to Ole Miss, in John Darnell's case, and Mississippi State in Bo Russell's case. And let me just tell you, Bo loved Mississippi State so much that he sent his daughter to Ole Miss, and he now lives in Oxford. So, I mean, it must have been a great experience. Guys, what's up?
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for sabotaging me.
You're good. I mean, Bo has been
expecting this guy.
Hey, Dad, I do have the one thing that a lot of Ole Miss football fans don't have.
What's that?
A degree from the University of Mississippi.
Oh,
How about that?
another good one. We've been waiting on that all day.
Yeah, set me up, didn't
Yeah.
He was practicing that joke in the mirror.
Yeah, he was.
He's like,
He
I got
was.
it. I got it.
guarantee he was.
Bo's been sending me pictures for the last few days as well.
You sent me one of them.
Most of them were not terribly flattering to your friend John Darnell.
Well, no, John.
I got some too. I just didn't send them.
Yes.
And I'll have to save those for another time.
Did you wear your jersey, John? I can't remember. Did you fold your jersey underneath your pads so everybody could see your six-pack?
Good reason for that. But I did notice.
I think John's six-pack was on a Friday night before the game.
Oh, no.
I can remember coming up to the line of scrimmage thinking, why has Bo got his jersey rolled up and tied in a knot like that? But, yeah, that's the way he did it. So, but he had more muscles and everything. He was more of an athlete,
All right.
Right. I was a 0-star. This guy was a 4-star athlete.
4-star athlete.
Yes.
Let's go back to the beginning. Corinth High School for you, John. Itawamba for you, Bo, and you guys played against each other going way back, right?
Oh, yeah. 8th grade, I think.
Yeah. And started playing Fulton, and I guess we're in the same district.
Yeah.
And played them in high school. Had some good games. One game I think we won pretty bad, but they beat us my senior year over there in Fulton. In that brick
broken
wall.
Finger.
Yeah, I learned something. I'd seen somebody call a halfback pass on the goal line. Did we go in overtime?
Yeah.
We were in overtime.
First and
I'd
only
seen
overtime.
somebody run a halfback pass on the goal line on college football, and I made the suggestion to our coach, said, why don't we run a halfback pass? We had a backup quarterback was a tailback. Well, we ran it and got intercepted. I don't know who. Did you intercept it?
I think so.
Oh, gosh. See, here we go.
There you go.
So we got intercepted in his own ball game. They beat us, but that's the one thing I do remember about that game. Bad call, bad idea.
I'm just impressed that as a high school senior, you were able to convince your coach to run a play that you guys roll out in overtime.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever had that kind of stroke with my coach. Now, granted, I was a lineman, but they don't want to listen to us. But
I was just saying,
still,
situation might have been a little different.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have listened to me, that's for sure.
Well, like I said, John was a superstar recruit in the area. Other than Wesley Walls. Wesley was a 5-star. Everybody wanted him. And
Yeah, kind of where we really got to know each other is we all went to the All-Star game and played an All-Star game together.
Okay.
That's when they had the North versus the South.
Yep.
And we were on the North, and we had some really good players. Besides Bo, we had Wesley Walls, Tony Bennett, Pat Coleman, Jesse Anderson that went to Mississippi State. They all played in the NFL for years.
yeah.
And
Jesse and the Thunder and Lightning.
What?
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Thunder and Lightning, is that Sean Sykes and Robert Smith?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay.
I'm positive it's not them.
Because that Thunder and Lightning ran all over me and stomped me in high school. And John.
yeah, you're talking about the guys from Louisville, right?
No, I'm talking about
Robert Smith and Sean Sykes. They killed us. But we had two guys from Louisville that played with you at Mississippi State. We had
Michael
9 people.
Taylor and Jeremiah Sangster.
9 guys that went to Mississippi State off that North team, and we had like 5 or 6 off the north.
Did y'all win this All-Star game?
We lost.
Who was on the South team?
And,
we lost because Wesley Walls couldn't kick a 49-yard field
that's
goal.
right.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
and
luckily he didn't have to do that in the pros to make any money.
well, he came close.
He thought he made it. He kept jumping up and down.
He threw his helmet, and all the pads came out of his helmet. Well, the next year, this is a true story. The next year, he got invited back because he won the sportsmanship award.
Right.
He was spiking his helmet.
I was like, what? That is so rigged. That is so rigged.
That's good.
Anyway.
All right, so
he was dirtier than I was.
So Wesley started out in college on the defensive side before he made the move over to tight end, right?
That's right. Yeah, and then he
senior year moved to tight end.
I heard him tell that story the other day at the Alabama game. Two guys he introduced me to about how we were throwing the football before practice one day, and Coach Red Parker said, "Have you ever played tight end?" He said, "Well, actually, I played in the high school All-Star game with John." And
and Red Parker didn't know that.
Yeah,
it's a different time, man.
Yeah.
Nobody had film and all that.
That's right.
Nobody was scouting.
Did Red Parker have you running the option?
Yeah, well, he had me running options because you were over there trying to kill me. But,
I knew we had him when John's running the option.
My introduction
to
cold. So we moved to Oxford in November of 1988, and so it was really the '89. I was 8 years old. It was the '89 season where I really kind of started watching. So the first Ole Miss jersey I had was a number 4 jersey. I've told him before that, and he's laughed at me. But my introduction to college football was a Red Parker offense, which it's amazing that I'm here today and love the game.
Well, yeah,
no disrespect intended,
right.
but you know.
We talk about all the time.
You might have seen a Rocky Felker offense.
I saw one of those too, yeah. I saw enough of that to go around.
Don't hate on me, Coach.
No, goodness gracious.
All right, 87, 88, 89. Those were the 3 Egg Bowls that the two of you played against each other in, right?
Yeah, Bo probably played in 86.
I played special teams in 86.
Yeah, I didn't get to play in that game. But we've had plenty of time to talk about this over the years. Our daughters played soccer together growing up, and Bo always made me coach the little girls in soccer. And then he would yell at me from the sideline. But anyway,
along with everybody else.
Yeah, we had a lot of time to talk about all these games and how times have changed with football, and we just have a good time with it. But we had some good games. And we were talking on the way over here. I walked down with him, and we were talking about, what do you remember? And the weather was one of the things that for 2 years it rained.
Now, all 3 games that you guys played were in Jackson.
Yes.
It was 2 years later, 91, when it moved back to campus.
Right.
Yeah, we never
when I was
played
in
on
law
campus.
school, it was back on
Yeah,
campus.
we never played on campus.
That 88 game, I mean, there were tornado sirens going off.
Yeah.
I was there. Yeah.
I was there, and they spotted
it was unbelievable.
My dad was one of those no, we're not leaving types. So I suffered with you to the last snap of that game.
They spotted the ball several times, and it would float off.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Kid you not.
Oh, he's not lying. It was
But I usually play good in the rain because I would be just as fast as everybody else.
You were talking about the game changing. It obviously changed a lot of offense. But back in your day, the receiver came over the middle. It was just, that's open season on that guy.
You better defend yourself.
And now, I mean, that's going to be a 15-yard penalty 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. I went back and watched the LSU game from '88, and I would have been ejected at least 15 times that I could see on the film. I mean, you would take headshots.
Yeah.
And you'd be called out if you didn't.
Targeting.
But also,
so it's
I probably had at least 10 concussions myself. I remember playing in the Auburn game one time as a redshirt freshman, looking up. I don't know why I looked up, but I looked up, and the first thing I heard was the whole stands going, ooh.
That's not a good sound.
I get up, and I'm running to the sidelines at the 50-yard line, and I make it to the state sidelines on the 30.
Oh.
So that's how far I was going off. Didn't miss a play because you got back in, and if you missed a play, they put somebody else in.
Hold on, boys. We'll be right back. Sports.
Pretty excited for the turkey.
Go with turkey. Yeah, I am too.
I know, since you're cooking it.
It's going into the brine tonight.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
24 hours of brine. Going to let it sit for, 24 or so hours.
Okay. I don't brine. I'm not a briner.
Yeah, this is the first time I have like that.
Okay.
But I think I got a good brine mix. Hey, that's coming to my house for Thanksgiving.
That's all right.
I've heard.
I've been to a lot of Thanksgiving tailgates and stuff on this game for this game, but I don't think I've ever been to one where I was the only Bulldog.
You're not.
Oh, there's more?
Half of my family went to Mississippi State.
Well, those are the good half.
There you go.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Come live in Oxford.
No.
Tell me about the house you bought in Starkville now. I'm sorry, Bo. I meant
Yeah.
Oh,
We got plenty of space in my neighborhood.
he said he wanted to do this. He said he wanted to do this.
Yeah.
And
It's because he thought you were going to be professional. That was his mistake.
When the wife says you're moving, you move.
Yeah, that's true.
I understand that. Absolutely. Conversely, when the wife says you're not moving, then you're done moving also.
Yeah.
Stay.
That's it.
All right, Egg Bowl memories. You were telling me a second ago, you kind of have trouble remembering. So the weather stood out. Does anything else stand out?
I remember one thing distinctly that really has nothing to do with football. But basically we were, back then you could tackle people out of bounds.
Yeah.
Way out of bounds.
Yeah.
Over into the
them in the
cheerleaders.
stands, yeah.
Into the cheerleaders and try to take a cheap shot on one of the male cheerleaders. It's always one of my favorite things to do.
Are you serious?
Oh, I laid somebody out at Auburn one time. They had him over here and he had his nose up. But there's these three little.
Say that before.
Oh, man, football players love to do. Even quarterbacks love to cheap shot a male cheerleader. Yeah. But any event, we're on the sidelines, and I see these three kids, and I mean they are dressed up. You could tell they're rich kids, and had nice clothes on. They had 3 Ole Miss jerseys on. So I'm running back to the huddle, and I kind of see them, and I was a ball boy growing up, and I always like to engage with ball boys. So I see them and kind of brush up on them, and I kind of, what the hell are you looking at? And the little one got scared, and he kind of ran behind him. When he did, I grabbed his towel. He had a towel to wipe off the balls. I grabbed his towel, and I, rubbed up my face and my hands, threw it out on the field. I said, get that, and I ran out on the field. And the whole game, I'm kind of messing with them a little bit. And this is a game we're winning. When you win, you can kind of engage in people. When you're losing, you're just watching the clock and praying for a win. See these kids after the game. They come walking by John. I go, John,
There you go.
who are these? Whose kids are those? He goes, oh, those are Archie's kids. And I go, that's the most unathletic. Well, the older one looked a little athletic. I said, that is the most unathletic kids I've ever seen in my life. I don't know what John said. I'm not going to talk bad about them, but to
So
this
you
day,
bullied Eli Manning, is what you're saying.
they thought that I was the Darth Vader in maroon. They looked at me, and I don't know if they remember that. I wish somebody would ask them.
Now, we talked about you getting Eli on this week. You've got to make that happen.
I would love to know if they remember me from that. But I thought, my God, how unathletic they are. But had no. John's not saying anything, but I did not know.
I'm just trying to get the right.
I did not know they had golden arms. What's that? 4 Super Bowl championships out of those guys?
Yeah. How did it work out for them?
Oh, very well.
They're doing
better
all right.
than me.
They're doing all right. And heck, Cooper's probably the richest one. He's managing all that money down there.
He was the most athletic looking of the 3 of them. They're probably about 5 years old, 10 years old.
He's saying the guy who didn't play is the most athletic one.
Well, he looked that way.
Yeah.
So.
Any game memories that stand out?
Story.
I mean, we got plowing cheerleaders on the sideline, male cheerleaders.
I never got
tried to make Eli Manning cry.
I remember tackling John about the 5th because they were running the option. He was my responsibility.
That was a tough day for you.
I practiced for years against Don Smith and Orlando Lundy. I get John, and I'm thinking, I got this. I knew we were going to win that Egg Bowl probably about the first quarter. But I remember tackling John probably about towards the middle of the game or something. I remember John goes, are we still friends? And I go, I think we are. Helping him up. I wasn't a big talker in the games, though.
No,
just the ball boys and the male cheerleaders.
Well, people I could, wasn't going to retaliate against.
Let me find the defenseless, and I'll go after them.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right, Darnell, what about you? Memories that stand out from your 3 Egg Bowls?
The one we talked about this last year with Hey Dad, losing that 87 game was a bad memory. I do remember that. That was a bad day for me, a bad day for us as a team. But I guess the 88 and 89 games we won. The 89 stands out because it was my last one And I don't know if we were losing at halftime. It was close. We weren't playing very well. And I can just remember sitting in at halftime thinking, I've got to get it together here. And we had a really good second half and ended up winning. And that win put us in the Liberty Bowl. So that was a big day for us, to win against Mississippi State and go on and play in a bowl game. But, they're all special because you grew up here in Mississippi, and probably 3/4 of our team was from Mississippi, probably like y'all. And so it just meant a lot, because we played against them, known them forever, called each other during the season, and, pulled for them. We weren't playing them. And,
Did you?
Well, of course, they're our friends, so you want them to do well when they're playing Auburn or Alabama or somebody like that. But because they're your friends. I mean, is that how that goes? But anyway, so it was always big playing Mississippi State. Coach Brewer really took it personal because that was a big week for him. That week and LSU were always important to him. He put an emphasis on those two games. And probably Coach Felker did the same thing because he played at Mississippi State. So we're playing for two guys that played for the school they were coaching. So it meant a lot. It was a big game, and just fortunate that we won more than we lost. And it was. I'm kind of like Brian. I heard him say earlier he hated this week, but it's also his favorite week. Kind of for me. You look forward to it, but you just like, man.
You want it to be over with.
Yeah, you're just like, let's just win this thing and get to the next week.
All right, so this may be more of a fan question than a former player question, but when you go back to playing it, for a lot of fans, this game ends, and if you win, it's not like celebration, it's kind of relief. I think that's a word that Haydad used earlier, whereas if you lose, you just feel miserable. What about when you're a player? When you win this game, was it a sense of relief that you won the game, or was it, excitement and jubilation and joy and all of that stuff?
I can say for 87, we're just glad the season was over. And most everybody, we don't have to practice on Monday.
Yeah.
That's what we're thinking. We lost, and it was a terrible year, and let's just move on to the next year. So that was, we flushed it pretty quick. When you win, I don't know. I don't remember celebrating for a week or anything like that. You were just glad you won and moving on to the next one.
Yeah. I remember us winning in 87, and that was the first year. We hadn't won since 82. Mm-hmm. So nobody on our team had ever beaten Ole Miss. Even redshirt seniors had never beaten Ole Miss in 87.
And 82 was John Bond's last year, or that was his junior year?
Yeah. That was it. They should have won in 83. That was
we were talking about that earlier.
Kick.
Yeah.
But that group of 83 was going to be Don Smith, and that group of guys never beat them. Yeah. And I felt bad for those guys, but we won. And if you go back and look, I think you have to go back into the 50s to find a Mississippi State team that did not at least beat Ole Miss or tie them. They had a lot of ties back in.
Yeah. Vaught had an 18-year unbeaten streak.
Yeah. So that.
Which, can you imagine that now on either side?
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be mass suicide.
Haydad's saying if Leach doesn't win this year and it's 3 in a row, I mean, next year it's just it's simple. You either win it or you're gone.
He's gone.
Yeah.
And our great athletic director that we did have, fired the guy that beat Ole Miss 2 years in a row and hired a guy that's lost 17 years in a row. So.
Well, you need to apply for this job. I think you got the right vision.
Oh,
I think you got the vision for it.
Got a baseball coach trying to hire a football coach.
So.
Good luck at Auburn.
Can he live in Oxford to be the AD of Mississippi State?
I think we can get it.
You might work around
Zoom makes it work.
Yeah.
We can make it happen.
Yeah. I tell you what.
Bo and I need to be better friends is what I've learned from this interview.
You need to get me and Johnny Guscio on that your live. Yeah. Thunder and Lightning.
We need to make this happen. We're going to make it happen soon.
Yeah.
We'll get Johnny on. We'll get some high school memory because he'll talk about my cousins too.
And get Brian Hudson, the first American Gladiator.
Yeah.
Those two guys.
Did you play
together.
with David Fair?
I did. He was a year behind me.
What might have been.
What might have been.
Yeah.
All right, we got 30 seconds to the break. What do you guys expect to see Thursday night?
Man, after watching that one Saturday night in Fayetteville, I don't know what to expect. Hopefully Ole Miss play a little better on defense and score more points when they get in the red zone, hopefully. But I think it'll be a very good game. I mean, it's obviously Las Vegas thinks it's going to be very close, and I do too. I mean, I think it's just going to be one of those back and forth. And who turns the ball over and has the most penalties, which that's been a
Bo,
I think you're going to hear me yelling from over there, run the damn ball. but they won't do it. That's what I'm afraid of. And we'll see.
Good stuff.
Fun, though.